Well, it's officially been over a year, so we are changing and moving on to season 2 of the Cleveland Sports Realm. It's episode 53, season 2, and we're going to do this one in honor of Craig Robertson, former Browns linebacker. And is that who you thought?
No, it's not who I thought. I told producer Eric beforehand I really thought you were going to do Joe Schobert. That's who I thought you were going to do.
No.
I like the Craig Robertson pull, though.
Craig Robertson was a great Browns. Look it up, kids. He was good from about 2011 to 2014.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that era? Him and L.J. Fort were kind of battling for that one linebacker position, which Robertson ended up obviously winning and then had a good career with the Saints afterwards.
That's exactly right. So we're going to do, this is the second year of the Cleveland Sports Realm, officially year 2 we're entering here.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal for us.
A different storyline this year.
Yeah. No.
No, I know. That's the joke, buddy.
The Guardians still don't spend money. The Browns still suck. And the Cavs still, we don't know what, well, probably, hopefully.
Yeah.
Actually, they changed the storyline.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they do.
All right. So hopefully they do. All right. Well, let's get into the episode here now that we did the whole preamble. And what we're going to start with is today was NFL trade deadline as we record this on, I believe it's November 3rd.
Yeah.
No,
it's the 4th.
So, election day.
Yeah, we're recording Tuesday night. We had to kind of switch around the schedule here, so we won't have the updated college football playoff rankings, unfortunately. By the time that this releases, and we won't have an update on the Cavs, who obviously play on the 5th.
If anybody besides Ohio State's won, I'm punching a hole through the studio wall.
Yeah, I mean Ohio State will be one. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think it'll be interesting to see if Notre Dame cracks the top 10 or not. I think it'll be interesting to see if Georgia's in the top 5 or not. Because Georgia's kind of one of those teams with Oregon right now that could be 5 or 6. I think those are the only real toss-ups. I think Indiana's probably a lock at 2.
I would assume so. They just trounced Maryland this weekend.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the college football here in a little bit.
Yeah, I apologize.
And we're going to start with the NFL. Today was Election Day and also NFL trade deadline day. So not that it matters by the time this is released on Thursday morning, but I hope all you folks went out and voted today. On Election Day. All right, so we'll start with the biggest trade that kind of rocked the NFL trade deadline. This is normally something you'd see in the MLB trade deadline or the NBA trade deadline or even the NHL trade deadline. But the NFL said we're going to join the deadline blockbuster party this year as the New York Jets decided to trade Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks. My initial reaction, and I'll let you get yours here in a second, Kevin, once I give mine. I think Sauce Gardner is actually really overrated. I do think he's a damn good cover corner, but 2 first-round picks for a cover corner who never picks the ball off is a high overpay by the Colts, and I think the Colts got caught up in having a good year, and that the Jets put a super high price on Sauce. Not that I don't think that they were probably trying to move Sauce, but if the Colts are willing to give you that and you're 1-7, you said, the hell with it. We'll give you Sauce, even after they just gave him a huge extension.
Yeah, and I believe the Jets are still on the hook for a lot of that money, which obviously ends up working out in the Colts' favor in that. But Jerome, I think your analysis on that was spot on, to be honest with you. I think the Colts completely overpaid. I think you're getting one of those lightning in a bottle type seasons from Daniel Jones, and obviously he didn't have a great week this past week, but he's obviously one of those quarterbacks that we've mentioned along with the Sam Darnolds and Baker Mayfields that really, once they got that change of scenery, have been able to kind of turn their careers around. Darnold and Mayfield more so than Jones, but Jones obviously halfway through the year, it's looking like that's what he's doing there. And obviously the Colts at this point, they have to be looking at Daniel. What this move signifies for me is that the Colts look at Daniel Jones as a franchise quarterback. That's what this move signals for me. There's no other world where you give up 2 first-round picks for a corner. And I do agree, Jerome, like Sauce Gardner, obviously a good corner, an above-average corner in this league. I do think he's more name than play, though, at this point of his career. I think his first 2 years were so good. He played in such a big market that his name got, and obviously a name like Sauce Gardner is just one of those flashy names. I think that just kind of propelled him into the realm of where every single NFL fan base was talking about him as the number 1 guy. And I do think he gets penalized a lot. He gets called for a lot of holds, a lot of pass interference penalties. But obviously fast, good cover corner. He's the height, weight, speed type guy. Plays very good press. I just don't think if you're the Colts, to put all your eggs in the Daniel Jones basket right now, because that's what you're doing. I don't agree with that move, and I've never looked at Daniel Jones as a franchise guy. I don't think 8 games into the season that's really changed my opinion too much. I think he's just an average quarterback in this league. He's probably a top 20 guy the remainder of his career, as long as he's a starting quarterback, top 20 to top 25 guy. And I just don't think giving up 2 first-round picks, and they did give up A.D. Mitchell as well. I forget if you had mentioned that or not, Jerome.
I didn't throw that in there, but that's true.
Gave up A.D. Mitchell, former second-round pick. Another guy who's more name than play, really, honestly. That'll be going back to the Jets. Yeah, so a very interesting trade, one that I would not have made if I was the Colts, and I do think this is one of those things. I think the Jets kind of made this move almost like how the Guardians do with their trades, where it's, okay, this is our asking price, we're not coming from it, we're not coming down from it. And then they probably did get a couple offers for Sauce. They didn't reach the asking price, and then finally the Colts gave into it. And I think the Jets made out like bandits in this deal.
Well, here's the other thing, too, and I think this is true, because so often we can compare the Jets to the Browns, and the fact that they both are just in their category of their own terribleness. I don't know how else to, like, they are so far beyond every other NFL team of just failure, stacked on years and years and years of it. And so if I'm a Jets fan, the way I feel about this deal is, okay, yeah, if we're going to trade Sauce and we could get 2 first-rounders, great. But just like the Browns, there's Jets fans probably sitting there thinking today, well, all this is a giant lottery ticket, because just like the Browns, the Jets, who the hell are they to make the right picks with those? They're not going to do it.
I actually love that you made the correlation between the Jets and Browns right now, because if you're the Browns, you could probably take a lesson from what the Jets did today. And I know we're talking about that Sauce Gardner deal. You mind if I transition into the Quinnen Williams one real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead. Move forward with it.
The Jets also made another big move by trading Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys for a second-round pick in 2026 and a first in 2027. And now the Jets have kind of loaded up their arsenal to where the Browns had been in that 2017, 2018, those drafts, right? Because the Browns had 3 first-round picks in 2017. Went into it with 2, ended up trading up back into the first round for a third. But they finished that draft with 3 first-round picks, had 2 in 2018. And those are the 2 drafts that you look at as what kickstarted the rebuild that we know of, like that 3 to 4 year really good Browns window that we thought that we had. But yeah, I think the Browns could have easily learned a lesson today by what the Jets did. You know, they realized they aren't going to win anything anytime soon. Their quarterback problem is not solved. So yeah, let's get Sauce Gardner off the books. Let's get 2 first-round picks for him. Let's get some draft capital for Quinnen Williams, who, when we are remotely competitive in 3 to 4 years, is probably going to be at the very end of his prime or out of his prime. So if you're the Browns, I also read a report that the Jets had inquired on a couple other corners, one big-time name corner, and they didn't release who it was. I'm almost willing to bet money that they inquired on Denzel Ward. That was the first person that I thought of, because is there another team that you can think of as a primary elite corner that their team is in the dumps right now? Or I should say that the Colts inquired on, not the Jets.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it was maybe, I'm going to flip the script completely on you. I wonder if it had to do with the Cowboys. Maybe they were trying to get Deron Bland or Trayvon Diggs in that. Because, again, for me, this is Jerry Jones. I don't understand this, because the Cowboys stink and their defense stinks. I battle who's got the more shitty defense every week between the Cowboys and Bengals. Both defenses stink just horribly.
Yeah.
And I wonder if maybe that was it, because I don't know, though. Again, like, if I'm a Jets fan, though, like, yeah, I understand your point of view, and your point of view is you know, from a draft guy. That's who you are.
Yeah, but it's not.
Come by it honestly.
It's not necessarily a draft perspective, though. Like, I understood why the Browns, and granted, it obviously did not work, but when they gave up 3 first-round picks for the Albatross, I understood why they did it. Like, I understood they saw their window, they wanted to go all in, push your chips into the table. I understand it. You got to realize the state that your team is in. You know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, because I know I've said this the last 2 or 3 episodes, but that's something Andrew Berry's never been able to do, and that's what my transition was into the Denzel Ward argument. Me almost putting money that the Colts were calling around on those different elite corners. I'm willing to bet that Denzel Ward was one of them, and I'm willing to bet that Andrew Berry hung up the phone because he's so delusional and still thinks that we're in a I guarantee you he didn't even entertain a phone call about Denzel Ward.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But again, maybe this is just me coming from being such a scarred Browns fan, but also like the Jets are in the exact same position we are in. Like, I'm not super excited though, because like, yeah, it looks good, and hypothetically it could turn out to be really good, but it's the Browns and the Jets. They're not making the right picks. You could have all the picks in the world. It's not going to change anything.
We had that mantra back in 2017, 2018, and it turned the franchise around for a few years.
They didn't win anything though. So I
They won a playoff game. I mean, listen, you don't have to win a Super Bowl in order for it to be like a successful turnaround. It doesn't always have to be a Super Bowl or bust. Like, would you say, like, how many times can you look back on past Buffalo Bills drafts and been like, oh my God, like they botched it, but then they got the quarterback right.
Right.
And then they get a couple other draft picks right, and all of a sudden it doesn't even matter. They're a contender every year. But they have not won a Super Bowl. I would still consider that a successful rebuild.
Yeah, they did, because now the Bills, if you look at the rest of their roster, it's nothing to write home about, but Josh is Superman and saves everything.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's great and all. Again, I have no faith that the Browns could trade for, they could get 5 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, and I would be like, well, they're probably going to blow it. So, I mean, I just have no faith in them to make the right selection with the picks. So, and I also, I understood the Colts. They are in an AFC that's kind of open right now, in the sense that, yeah, Buffalo's probably the favorite because they've been there, done that so many times, but the AFC is pretty wide open now. New England looks really, really good.
Yeah.
And they got the guy with the quarterback and this and that with Drake May. So the Colts capitalized and thought, hey, this is our chance. Let's go. And yes, they overpaid, but you have to do that sometimes in a contention window. But the Cowboys doing what they did for Quinnen Williams, that's just Jerry. I don't know, besides to say it sounds stupid, but being Jerry, because he just...
No, 100%.
Like, he realizes he's losing fan support. He trades Parsons, which was idiotic if you want to contend. He gets back Kenny Clark, but then he realizes, okay, Kenny Clark's good. I have a couple good corners, but the rest of my entire defense stinks. And he realized how... So now he's going to go get another defensive tackle. And I think Quinnen Williams is good. I don't think it's going to change anything for the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think it changes anything for the Cowboys either. And what's so weird about this trade is that the first round pick that the Cowboys gave up was in 2027. So obviously they know that pick's going to be early this year, or else it probably would have been a 2026 first. But then when you punt to the following year, that 2027 class, from what all the experts say, is supposed to be the draft that's like the 2014 draft, where you're just hitting like home run after home run, or the 2011 draft where it was like AJ Green, Patrick Peterson, and Julio Jones, and Von Miller.
Elite just franchise-changing players.
Franchise play. Yes, exactly. Like, that's what the 2027 class, that's what the experts are saying about it. So Jerry Jones punts on giving up his 2026 first to punt to the 2027 class and give up that pick. I don't understand it, and especially when Quinnen Williams, like, obviously a great football player, does not have the impact that a Micah Parsons has, and you gave up a first and second, when in that deal you gave up 2 firsts. Obviously you got Kenny Clark in it too, but like, I just didn't think the value of what you gave up for Williams matched what you got back for Parsons.
I also, and
obviously we're talking about 2 different players, but I just didn't see where they came up with those values on those players.
I also, I try to see when big stuff like this happens, as a big sports enthusiast and fan, I try to see what those fan bases are saying.
Yeah.
And Jets fans did not seem heartbroken by the fact that Quinnen wanted out. And I guess it had come out that Quinnen's wanted out for a while because he's been the longest tenured Jet, and he's gone through a lot of losing, kind of like Garrett here or Denzel here, essentially the same sort of thing, different uniform, same story.
Mm-hmm.
But Jets fans also point out Quinnen Williams is like he's not really doing much. Like, yeah, he's stuffing the run, but he's not rushing the passer well anymore. Like, he's not what he once was, basically. So that the Jets realize that Quinnen's trending down the other side of the mountain and, capitalize on him, probably. And for that, I'll give the Jets credit. They did the right thing. But again, same thing with the Browns. If you're a Jets fan, how do you have any confidence that they're going to make the right pick? You can't. You possibly can't at this point.
No, but that's all draft picks are in general. Honestly, are lottery tickets.
Right.
That's what they are. And obviously, when you bring up those two franchises, the Jets and the Browns, the most notorious for drafting busts. Honestly, bust after bust. Like if you're a Jets fan, that you probably are thinking what you're saying right now, Jerome. And that's okay. Great. What has draft picks ever gotten us? Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well,
what,
I saw
Sam Darnold, who you gave up on too early.
To your point exactly. I saw that one Jets fan said, "I'm very excited about the 2 first-round picks for Sauce, but at the same time," I'm paraphrasing a little bit.
Sure.
He says, but at the same time, he goes, "It also takes me back to when we traded Revis Island, and then you got the first-round pick and used it on D. Milner."
Oh.
I says, "Oh my God."
Yeah, that's tough.
The Jets, the Browns, all the pain. It's just
I actually liked D. Milner coming out of Bama, believe it or not.
Yeah. I didn't hate him, but I also wasn't paid millions of dollars to realize that he'd suck as a pro.
Well, right, yeah.
All right. Well, so that's the Jets and Browns story, or the Jets story. Let's get to the other grossly awful team with the Browns, and they made a nothing burger trade. They traded Joe Tryon, Sharenka, who they had signed for 1 year and $4 million. And right from the beginning of the first game of the year, I didn't see him on the field when I was down there, and I says, he's fallen out of favor. These other guys, Cameron Thomas, Alex Wright, the younger guys have all just played better than him, and he hardly was getting any defensive snaps. So, if I'm a Browns fan, this guy was a healthy scratch couple. If the Bears really wanted Joe Tryon Sharenka, God bless you, take him. I would have taken a bag of footballs for him.
Yeah,
they gave up a 7th to who cares?
You upgraded. You upgraded from your 7th round pick to the Bears' 6th round pick. So your pick probably moved up about 15 to 20 spots in the draft. And you gave up a guy that you signed this offseason.
Right, and also a guy who was he was getting 4 snaps a game. If you looked at the snap count,
exactly.
He was literally getting 3 or 4 snaps a game, and all these guys were playing better than him, and clearly the Browns evaluated him to be better, and that's Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, even Cameron Thomas was getting more time than him. So a total nothing burger, who cares type of thing for me.
That's kind of how I was. Actually, as soon as the trade happened, found out, the Browns traded Joe Tryon Sharenka. I actually texted a few of my buddies, and I was like, I guarantee you it's him in a 7th for a 6th. Because I feel like we see this about Andrew Berry does this every once in a while, just to upgrade draft position, get somebody away from the roster, and obviously that's precisely what it was. But yeah, from the Browns' perspective, I'm fine with it. Like you said, Jerome hasn't played a lot this year. When he has been on the field, the couple times that he hasn't really been impactful.
He had 4 tackles through 9 games.
Yeah, so let's move up the draft pick, get him out of here. We'll see if there's another young guy on the team that might be able to make a couple plays for us.
I can laugh about it now, but I actually remember sitting in this very studio last March when they signed him. I'm like, hey, this guy had a couple good years with Tampa. This is a nice little.
It was a former 1st round pick.
We called it I don't know what the word. We agreed. That's
it's a tough word to find out. Yeah,
we agreed in the consensus. That's the word I'm looking for. The consensus from both of us when they signed him in the offseason was low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Well, it ended up being low risk and low reward.
Ended up being almost basically no risk at all.
It turned into absolutely nothing. And the Bears needed an extra pass rusher because they're, I forget the fella's name, but he tore his Achilles. They're a big pass rusher.
Yes. I'm blanking on his name too.
Dare is his first name. I cannot remember the fellow's last name. Regardless, it's not a Chicago Bears podcast, so we don't really care or need to know. A couple other moves that happened. Rashid Shaheed to the Saints. Or from the Saints to the Seahawks.
I found out about this trade, by the way, that I'm in the minority on it. I know a lot of people love this for Seattle. I don't get it. I don't get how you feel like this moves the needle for you at all. I saw some people tweeting out, with Sam Darnold's long ball and Rashid Shaheed, are they Super Bowl contenders? I literally read that. I was like, why are we looking at this trade like it's a I read it and I was like, oh, like I probably wouldn't have made that deal if I was Seattle. I'd rather just like take a risk with the 4th and 6th rounder and see what I can get. You'll probably get somebody just as good as Rashid Shaheed.
No,
I'm not. I just don't understand the deal.
I like the deal. I think Rashid Shaheed. I'm on the opposite side of you on this. I like the deal.
Yeah.
I think the guy's a good receiver. He hasn't gotten to showcase anything this year because the Saints quarterbacks are awful. Whether it's Spencer Rattler or who's the 30-year-old from Louisville.
Oh, Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, he stinks too. Either way, the guy hasn't had a good quarterback, and I know that Chris Olave had tweeted to his former Ohio State teammate Jackson Smith-Njigba and said, "You're getting a good one here, this is my guy." And he's like, have fun with him. And I do think Rashid, I know you just mocked it, but I actually do think he does a hell of a job of stretching the field. And
yeah, that's I'm telling you, I've read that everywhere. People are like really thinking that he's going to be like the Tyler Lockett there. Now, I just don't see that happening.
See, I think it's a good move. And again, a 4th and a 6th.
But for what 4th and 6th have got you in the past, we've seen a lot better players go for 4th and 6th than Rashid Shaheed. The guy's like a career wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, and we're sending him to Seattle for a 4th and 6th, and now the entire NFL doesn't know how to guard Seattle anymore.
Because the way Sam Darnold's playing, look, you can't. In general, this is my general take. It's really hard to evaluate receiver play when the quarterbacks absolutely stink. Yes, we generally evaluate that the Browns receivers as a general collective stink. But at the same time, we can't sit here and say, wow, so-and-so is so good or so bad because the quarterback stinks so bad. And that's the same situation with Rashid Shaheed in the past when he's had decent quarterback play from Derek Carr. He's been a very effective weapon for the New Orleans Saints. But this year, how can we evaluate Rashid Shaheed when Tyler Shuck and
you know his name, too.
What the heck's the other? Spencer Rattler. Yeah, when those guys are throwing you the football, who the hell are you supposed to know? So I'm all in for Seattle. I like the move. I do.
All right. I mean, to each his own on that one. I don't understand it. I feel like we've seen, other players, even for the Browns, let's say, I think Cedric Tillman might give you a little bit more than Rashid Shaheed.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. I actually think Cedric Tillman coming back is actually more of a bigger deal than people think it is. I'll get to that.
Of course you do. You think Rashid Shaheed just put Seattle over the top.
And then I'll give you one move I like better because this guy's a bona fide number 1 receiver in my opinion. And I think he's good. I think he was very good in New England. I think he's very good in Las Vegas.
Bona fide number 1 receiver.
I think he is.
You think Jacoby Myers is a bona fide number 1 receiver?
I don't.
I think he's about as good as a number 2 as you can ask for, though. If Jacoby Myers is your number 2, I'm like, set it and forget it. I love it.
Okay, I'll put it this way. As much as I like Rashid Shaheed, I would have given up a 4th and a 6th for Jacoby Myers much faster than Rashid Shaheed.
Absolutely.
But I also was still giving that up for Rashid Shaheed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you made that clear.
Yeah.
You made that clear, yeah.
But Jacksonville getting Jacoby Myers.
But again, this is a deal I don't even understand for Jacksonville. I don't get this deal for Jacksonville. You got a number 1 in Brian Thomas,
who hasn't played well this year.
I know Travis Hunter is on the IR for the next few weeks. Why are you trading for receivers? You have a BTJ who was phenomenal last year. Obviously hasn't been great this year. I'm not just giving up on my first round pick from last year who was great. Travis Hunter, who you gave up the earth, the moon, and the stars for, and you still haven't figured out how to use him halfway through the year. He's on IR. You're just giving up on the Travis Hunter at wide receiver experiment? Well, that's kind of what this tells me.
Yeah, but
I don't know why you're giving up.
It's a rental. Because isn't Jacoby Myers a free agent after the year?
He might be.
So,
but still, a 4th and a 6th, I don't like giving that up for rentals. I know you and I have discussed, I value draft picks more than the average Joe does. I just do. I don't understand why you're just
don't.
After this year, do you believe in Jacksonville being contenders this year?
No, because I think Trevor Lawrence is grossly overrated, has been put on a pedestal since he was in high school, and is not really all that good.
Okay, so then what does a 4 and 6 do for you when you have Jacoby Myers and he walks at the end of this year, if he is in fact a rental? and you don't have a 4th and 6th.
Well, before we start throwing that around, let's see what's.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm like, and you don't have a 4th and 6th round pick after this year that you could use for maybe going after maybe a solid veteran linebacker or another corner. Greg Newsome's been horrible in Jacksonville, by the way. Horrible. Like, anybody on defense, like your number 3 receiver, I'm not giving up a 4 and a 6 for. I'm just not doing it, especially for a team that they can't even figure out their running back situation, really. Like, Travis Etienne's had a good year. What are you doing with him after this year? Like, they've tried those other running backs in that system. I know Bigsby, and there's another one that I'm blanking on the name of. Like, they get them involved. I don't know what this deal does for Jacksonville. I don't understand it from their perspective.
So Jacoby Myers is a free agent at the end of the year. This is the final year of his 3-year, $33 million free agent deal he signed with the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't understand the deal for Jacksonville.
Well, I guess in their sense that they look their evaluation of Trevor Lawrence is obviously totally different than ours. They think Trevor Lawrence is great. They think they have a real chance to go somewhere in the AFC. So I understand it from their point of view. Jacoby Myers, who I clearly made a strong take about. I think he's a good number 1 receiver.
Bona fide number 1 receiver.
He can carry the load. And Brian Thomas, whatever's going on with him, I saw they were thinking about moving him today. So I don't know if
I saw that a few weeks ago too. I truthfully don't buy that.
Well, here's the thing you have to remember. These NFL GMs are super arrogant guys. Extremely arrogant. Brian Thomas was drafted by the last regime. New general manager there. New head coach there. He could have totally fallen out of favor with that new regime. And it's nothing Brian Thomas could have done or did. But you see this happen all the time.
No, I guess that's true.
Look no further than the Sauce Gardner trade. Where the Jets' old regime have traded Sauce Gardner, the one who drafted him? Probably not.
Probably not, but we've also seen regimes give up on players that they've drafted. Like Andrew Berry, I know I just brought him up. Andrew Berry just traded Greg Newsome a few weeks ago. That was the only other first-round pick he had since Mason Graham. It was Jedrick Wills, Greg Newsome. He didn't have one until Mason Graham again.
Well, so that one I think is like, yeah, I guess a little bit differently in the sense of they knew that they don't have the money to sign Greg for what Greg wanted, so they figured they can get a cost-controllable corner who they think in their mind is just as good, and honestly kind of has been his first 3
Campbell's been good, man.
Games here.
I would even he's been.
I mean, he had that pick 6. Like, he's done a couple different things, right? Like, so I don't like from Jacksonville's point of view. If Brian Thomas is truly fallen out of favor, then okay, now you got your number 1 in Myers, and you got your. If they're going to move off of Brian Thomas, then in their mind, they think Travis Hunter's going to be some stud. So they'll move forward with that. Now, whether that all happens will be hypothetical, remains to be seen. But from their point of view, yeah, and again, we're going to differ on this. We're disagreeing a lot tonight. If I'm Jacksonville, and I don't personally think this. I'm trying to think through their general manager and head coach, Liam Cohen's eyes.
I understand what you're saying.
They think Trevor Lawrence is some Christ-like figure at quarterback. They figure get him one more weapon. Yeah, we'll cash in for a 4th and a 6th for a rental. And I can understand that thought process. And so therefore, I'm not going to criticize the trade.
Okay. That's all I've got for it. That's all I got for the Jacoby Myers bona fide number 1 receiver discussion.
All right. Well, let's move on to the Browns. Andrew Berry, not doing anything. He didn't do. We both quantified that Joe Tryon-Schranka as a nothing burger. So they did nothing today at the deadline. They didn't move off veterans. They didn't acquire anybody. They weren't buyers like Adam Schefter told the whole world they would be on Sunday.
If anything, I guess they'd be more sellers than they were buyers.
Yeah, technically speaking. But from an overall reality point of view, they were nothing. So does this tell you that – here's a good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does this tell you AB thinks he's safe? Or AB said, I'm on my way out the door. They're going to cam me. Who cares? I'm not going to do anything to better or worse in this team. I'm just going to let the chips fall as they may for the rest of the 2025 campaign.
I think it screams that he's safe, to be honest with you. And the reason I say that is because if you're planning on leaving at the end of the year, or if you think you're going to be canned at the end of the year, why would you upgrade the draft capital from a 7th to a 6th?
Yeah, I think It's hard to tell. I think that, and I'm gonna take the cop out answer here. I don't think he knows what Jimmy's thinking. I think he, in his own mind, him and Kevin's minds, they lean that they're safe.
Okay, you gotta pick one side. That's a very political answer you just gave.
Yeah, I think they.
I don't think he knows.
I don't, because
Sure, but if
we've
you had
seen, but it's also because you have to look at Jimmy's past. There's been many times where Jimmy's told guys they're safe, and then, what he did that to Freddie Kitchens. He told Freddie, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Then the second the clock hit zero in Cincinnati that year, Freddie was, canned by the time they flew back to Cleveland. So I don't know. I think Andrew, in his mind, probably thinks he's leaning towards safe, but he also has this thing in the back of his mind, like I could go if
unpredictable ownership.
we win some games. So that's the Andrew Barry point of view. Now we look at Kevin Stefanski, who for the second straight year decided, well, if things go crappy on offense, I can just fire Tommy Rees.
Yeah, well, this is obviously the second straight year he's lining up a scapegoat.
Yeah. Now this one I think is a little bit different. And here's why. Because go back to last year, they brought Ken Dorsey in here. I don't think Kevin ever wanted to bring Ken Dorsey in here. That's my personal opinion. They brought Ken Dorsey in here because they tried to, with every move they made, kiss Deshaun Watson's ass. And Ken Dorsey's system was suited for Deshaun Watson,
Yes.
and yada, yada, yada. Most of our listening audience or viewing audience knows all that. I don't want to go down that whole road, but I'm just giving a quick debrief on why they did that.
Correct.
So Kevin Stefanski probably, quite frankly, never got along with Ken Dorsey and thought, well, you know what? You were only brought here because they wanted to kiss Watson's ass. He sucks, and so do you, so you take the play sheet.
Yeah.
That's why I think happened last year. Now, this year's is a little bit different because...
I agree with you on that assessment, by the way.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So this year's, I think, is Kevin, according to what they told us, what Andrew said and what Kevin said publicly, who knows what was said behind closed doors? We can only assume off what was said at the podium publicly, that Kevin had a chance to hire any offensive coordinator in the United States of America, the world, and beyond, whoever he wanted. He chose to promote Tommy Rees. That was his choice. So in Kevin's mind, this year, I don't think it's, I'm trying to get Tommy Rees fired. It's like, I think this year's is Kevin's more, last year's was, hey, I'm going to make you the scapegoat. F you, and you and Watson could, make love to each other on your way out the door. Screw both of you. This year, I think Kevin's philosophy is, look, we suck at offense. I realize we suck at offense. Tommy did a good job calling plays in college. I'm desperate to try to get this team to figure out how to be a competent offense in any way. And maybe if I hand my play sheet over to somebody who I actually trust, that things will go better. That's my opinion on it. Will they? No, they won't, because look who's still a quarterback. They're not going to go better. But it also maybe comes from the mind of Dylan Gabriel. For all the criticism of him I do, he was a somewhat effective quarterback in college. Tommy Rees was a very effective play caller in college. He called plays for Notre Dame. He called plays for Alabama. He was effective in both places. So maybe this is Kevin saying, hey, I've never worked in college. Like, my whole career has been NFL based. Tommy Rees, you called plays in college. This guy's a college quarterback that we're trying to shove into making a pro quarterback who stinks. So maybe they'll run some college stuff for him. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. Do you think that this thought crossed my mind earlier today, actually, preparing for the show, but do you think Joe Flacco's production in Cincinnati had anything to do with this decision for Stefanski?
I haven't thought about that, but it very well could have. I don't think that's like you pulling something out of left field. I think that's a fair and valid take.
Yeah, but I wasn't trying to pull anything out of left field. It's just something that crossed my mind earlier today, thinking about what we were going to talk about tonight. And that was just something that happened to cross my mind. I think it very well could, honestly.
I think that this just screams desperation from all the Browns. Like the offense has been putrid. It's been pretty much an unwatchable offensive product for majority of the season. Outside of a few bright spots here and there, but the overall arching theme has been hideous. I think this is just them all together saying, well, shit, let's just keep throwing stuff at the wall and hope something sticks.
Yep.
And again, I think, the Flacco going off in Cincinnati could have something to do with it. Dylan Gabriel being the worst quarterback in the league could have something to do with it. There's just a lot of different things. And I also thought about this angle, and you're going to hate this angle that I'm about to take on this.
All right. I don't like this. I don't like you prefacing it with that.
You're going to hate this angle. Again, Tommy Reese, very successful in
college quarterback. Yeah, I know what you're transitioning to, but I'm gearing myself up for what you're about to say.
Shedeur Sanders, very successful in college.
Was he?
As far as a quarterback, like team success, no, he wasn't all that great. But quarterback, sure, his numbers were great.
Can I?
So is this them getting the offense ready for Shedeur?
Can I combat you with something really quick? You said Shedeur was a great quarterback in college, but the team success wasn't there, right?
Yeah,
that's what you just said. I'm just doubling down on it.
Yeah.
Do you remember why you told me that the Albatross was not a good quarterback in Houston? Because
the team stunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So which one is it?
Well, Shedeur's a special circumstance.
No, that is absurd.
That's right.
That is absurd.
All right. So could this be them getting the offense ready for Shedeur? Is that
I think that's a reach. I do think that's a reach because, again, to your point from 2 minutes ago, Dylan Gabriel was just in college.
Yeah.
With Shedeur Sanders. Not with him, but you know what I mean.
Right.
The same years. Yeah, the same times. Period. So I don't think this has anything to do with like Shedeur related offensive scheming. Like I really don't.
The playbook's not ready for him yet.
Oh, good Christ. No, I don't think so. I mean, like I've said before, we're going to see a Tommy Reese led offense with Shedeur Sanders under center at some point this year. It's probably going to be in the next month. I guarantee over under December might actually be a good little over under. Leave that in the comments. Over under December
before Shedeur.
Shedeur Sanders is at quarterback.
So that would
starting at quarterback.
That would mean that Dylan would get this game against the Jets. That would get the Ravens game at home. He'd get
three more after.
He'd get the Vegas game and the 49ers game's the 30th of November. Mm-hmm. So do you want to include that in December, or you want to say that Dylan gets that 49ers?
No, that's November.
Okay.
That's November. That's a November game. Although I'm starting to think we might see Shedeur in Vegas.
Oh, I'd be so happy. We're going.
I know we're going.
Oh, baby. Getting me excited.
I'm starting to think that might be where we see Sanders.
Instead of talking hypotheticals here, let's actually talk reality for a second. We just talked about the Jets got rid of the probably two best players on defense outside of Quinnen Williams' brother, Quincy Williams, who's a damn good linebacker.
Yeah, you realize what's going to happen on Sunday, right? That the Jets are depleted. They're down their best corner because they traded him. They're down their best lineman because they traded him. And the Browns are gonna whoop their ass on Sunday, and then we're going to say that Tommy Reese is the best offensive play caller in history. It was Stefanski's problem. We should be promoting Tommy Reese, and then we're going to lay an egg the following week.
Yeah, because we come home and play Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen.
So that was going to be my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But actually, I don't have to ask the question now because you kind of answered. I was actually going to take the complete opposite angle.
Oh.
What if against a depleted Jets team, Dylan Gabriel goes out there and looks awful again?
Then you fire everybody.
Okay.
You get Barry out of here. You get Stefanski out of here. You're facing the worst team in football. The worst team in football who just traded probably their two best overall players. I'm trying to think of anyone better. Nobody comes to mind. Probably their two best overall players. If you get your ass beat on Sunday, clean house. Immediately after the game. Because I don't care what gives you faith at that point that they're going to look competent against any other NFL team this year if they get their asses kicked on Sunday.
By the way, the Vegas completely flipped the script on this game too. The second that Sauce got traded and then Quinnen got traded after, the line completely moved. The Jets were laying 2.5 at home, and now the Browns are laying 2.5 on the road.
It's honestly not that big of a. It's only a 4-point swing.
Yeah, that's a pretty big swing though.
Yeah, but like, granted, they're two, but like I would expect the Browns to be a touchdown favorite on Sunday. Like that's what I would have expected that to be.
I also think you have to look at it. Like, let's look at this too. What the Jets offense just did, granted, albeit against the worst defense in the AFC in Cincinnati. The Jets went in there and put up 39 points, and they didn't trade a single one of those guys. Like, and in fact, they did that without their best offensive weapon in Garrett Wilson. Like, Brees did not get traded today. Justin Fields looked outstanding, by the way, on Sunday against, again, terrible Cincinnati defense. And not this past Sunday, but two ago.
Yeah.
So you got to look at that too. Like, what the Jets offense did, the Browns offense has not done in years. With the Jets
I mean, the Browns put up 16 points on the Bengals defense.
Yeah. So, like, that's to me why like, I get your point of view. Like, yeah, we should just go to the Meadowlands and kick ass and take names and numbers.
Yeah, we should.
But I don't see it happening.
Yeah, neither do I. But I'm saying that's what should happen. I'm not predicting that by any means. I'm just saying they're down their two best players. Morale has to be completely depleted in that locker room. I believe they're 1-7.
1-7.
They're 1-7.
They're
football.
coming off their bye too.
They're a 1-7 football team who just gave up their two best overall players for future seasons. Like that's what you're like. They basically told the entire locker room like this year, don't even care about it. We don't care. Yeah. So the players, therefore, should not care if that's what they're basically being told from management. If you get your asses kicked on Sunday, speaking from the Browns' perspective, and you're going up against a team who's completely morally defeated, and you're apparently you are a two-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski, you're fired. Like you're not coming home.
There's one problem though. Dylan Gabriel's starting at quarterback.
I don't care. But that's my point, though. Like, if Stefanski handpicked him, this is my guy. If he did the Hugh Jackson, this is, trust me on this. If you're doing that, and that's the quarterback you're playing, that's the quarterback you want, that's the decision that you've made, you've made your decision, man.
Yeah, like I said it last week when we had Matt on as a guest, and I'll say it again. Kevin Stefanski, Jimmy has a number in mind. None of us know that number, but he does, and so does D, and probably so does JW. That's it. That's probably the only three people on planet Earth who know that number. If they don't hit that number, you're gone, right? Like, that's what we all think. So if I said it last week, if you choose to die on the hill of Dylan Gabriel, then I'm sorry, you're a moron. And that's the way he wants to do it. Sure, God bless you. Die on Dylan Gabriel's hill, because it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, the rest of the season, I'm genuinely not even. I've told you before that when we go to Vegas, like the thing I'm looking forward to the least is going to that Browns game. I love them. We had this conversation the other night too. I love them. I'm gonna watch them every Sunday. I'll be at games. I'm gonna literally make room to watch them. I'm gonna cheer for them hard as hell, as I always have since 1999, since I've been watching football. But this season has been such a waste. I know that it's still a waste. I know that we're probably going to shit the bed, pardon my French, that Sunday in Vegas. And even if we win, what does it mean, man? At that point, I mean, obviously,
I had a big tirade about this earlier, a couple episodes back.
I know you did.
Win games.
I know.
It's very important.
For the culture. Yeah, no, I understand that. But what culture do we even have right now?
It doesn't matter. Win games. It's more important than in anything you want to do with this draft next year. You have all the ammo. You have 1,800 draft picks in the 2026 draft. Well, maybe down to 1,799. They traded one away today.
Well, they've replaced one.
Okay, so you still have your 1,800.
Yeah.
You have 1,800 draft picks. You could trade up, trade down, trade all around, whatever way you want to do it. Okay, doesn't matter. Win football games. It's the most important thing you could do right now.
Yeah. The most important thing we can do is set up our future instead of having the 4th overall pick or the 2nd overall pick or the 1st or top 5. Let's just say top 5. Let's make sure that it's at 14. So that we don't get any elite prospect. We have to give up the farm if we want a quarterback. It's
okay. All right.
Listen, I want them to go out and I want them to win. I'm just saying, is it really smart? I'm going to root for him to win every single game the remainder of the year. From my perspective, I want the Browns to be an 11-6 football team. Not going to happen.
Okay, it's smart to win those games. Again, you sit here and say we don't have any culture because we never win. So you have to win to instill that culture. Yeah, you have.
How many seasons did the Lions lose with Dan Campbell?
One. They had one losing year with him, and then the following year, I think they went 9-8, and they've been winning ever since. So what's your point?
Is that they had a shitty ass year with they started off that year with Dan Campbell at like 0-12, 0-11.
Okay, that's fine, but this is a completely different situation. It's totally different. This is these guys' sixth year, not their first year. Like, what are you talking about? It's totally different.
Our first year, we were winning games.
Right.
Won a playoff game this first year of the regime.
Yes, I understand that. So in year 6, I'm not sitting here saying, "Whoa, we could get the second pick." No, that's ridiculous.
No, I mean, listen, the culture's done, bro. Like, the culture with this regime is completely done. Like, nobody, you can tell in the press conferences, the questions that they're asking Stefanski, he's always given bland answers, but they're even more bland. He's not even commenting about Joe Flacco's play. They asked him about that.
Yeah.
A former player from this year. I'm not going to speak on it. I don't think it's appropriate to be talking about other players.
Yeah, I heard
that. Dude, the media doesn't believe in him. The players clearly don't believe in him. Management, I don't think, believes in him anymore. Like, I think it's a lost cause to try to win football games. I think you're going to end this year. You try to win football games, you're going to go 6-11, and you're still going to fire the regime.
They may not.
6-11 is a pipe dream, by the way. Like, I don't know why I just came out with that number. But 5 wins, we'll say 4 or 5 wins.
They definitely have winnable games on the schedule remaining. Like, I heard Daryl Ryder saying this yesterday. Like, if you actually look at their schedule, there are definitely winnable games remaining, and 6-11 actually wouldn't be out of the question, I don't think, because hypothetically, you should go beat the Jets in the Meadowlands this week. You should beat the Raiders in Las Vegas. You definitely should beat the Titans at home. And, okay, maybe 5 wins. Yeah, because I don't really know where else that 6 is coming from.
Yeah, no, but that's still a lot of wins to ask from this team.
You may be able to beat the Steelers at home because you typically do for whatever reason.
I think we're getting swept by Pittsburgh this year.
So you might be able to do that. All right. We disagree. That's fine. Let's move on.
Okay.
I want the Browns to win.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I just said I'm going to root for him to win. I'm just saying, like, I don't understand. I don't think it does anything for us. I think it hurts us more than helps us long term to be winning games right now.
Yeah, from a front office point of view, but I'm talking about for the guys in the locker room.
I'm talking as just an organizational standpoint. I'm not just talking about the front office or the players or the coaches. I'm talking as an organization. I think it does more harm than good to be winning football games right now. Like I said, I'm going to be rooting for them to win football games. I love seeing the Browns outscore any of their opponents.
I see. I said I wanted to move on, but again, you're killing me here because now I got to get back into it. I hate this idea of people that you never want to win. Like you just want to pass the can down.
I just said I want to win.
No, but you said for an organizational point of view, it does nothing good to win. It always does good to win. Winning cures everything. Winning's the magic elixir. Winning is the most important thing. And overall in sports, we've gotten to this idea where people don't think that anymore. They always think future. No, be in the present, win games, no matter what the sport is.
Well, I think if you forego thinking about the future, then you're too honed in on the present and you end up screwing yourself in the future. I think the same goes the opposite way. You think about the future too much, you're never going to have a present. Like, there has to be a balance of both.
Right. And I think I made this point like months ago. I'll say it again. The Browns have always worried about the future, and it's gotten them nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times that we have traded back, and granted, we both said that we were fans of them trading back in this past draft, but like the amount of times that they've traded back from like elite talent just to end up with somebody in the middle of the first round that does absolutely nothing for you, just to acquire a future draft pick,
right?
To then you do the same thing there. Like, yeah, no, Jerome, so I do understand your take on that. I'm just saying when it's done correctly, you can kickstart your franchise like the Jets are trying to do right now, like the Browns did in 2017, 2018. Like, when you have that much early draft capital, that is where you start to actually, like, that's where you build the foundation of your team.
All right. Well, let's move on. How about some baseball? The Dodgers, as you very astutely predicted here last week. They won the thing in 7 games. And
I predicted the Blue Jays to win Game 5 and go up 3-2 and then drop the next 2.
I predicted the Blue Jays. Honestly, if I'm a Toronto fan, I don't know if I'm ever getting over that one. That's got to be crushing.
I don't think you can.
I mean, that is just, Jeff Hoffman, and I'll give him credit. He did not skip the podium, as the kids like to say. I mean, he literally stood there at the podium and said, I cost every person in this room a World Series ring by giving up that home run to Miguel Rojas, who had not got a hit in a month. And I got to give Hoffman credit, but that's an all-time blunder. I mean, that is something that when people 25 years down the line, when people talk about Jeff Hoffman, they'll say, well, the guy was a hell of a closer, but do you remember the 2025 World Series? And that's just something that will never, ever, ever erase from that guy. And then you got to go to the Blue Jays having plenty of chances. And one thing I'll say, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a lot of people, including me, going into this year thought he was overrated. The way this guy played throughout the year and in the postseason, overrated is not a adjective I will ever use to describe Vlad Jr. again. I mean, the World Series he had, and he got that double even after Will Smith hit that home run. And I was rooting for Toronto. I'm not going to lie. I was pulling for Toronto. I like to see, when I don't really care about the World Series or whatever sports championship, I'll usually go with who had the longer drought, unless I have a vested root.
Or the underdog.
Yeah.
That's typically what I try to do myself.
And Toronto hadn't won since 93. The Dodgers had such a long drought since 24 and of 2024. And so I was rooting for Toronto. Vlad Jr. gets that double, and then obviously Alejandro Kirk, grounds into the double play. One thing that I thought, as much as I just sat here and talked about how I wanted the Blue Jays to win it, and this is a World Series that I think will go down as maybe unbiasedly one of the most classic World Series we've seen since maybe the Indians-Cubs World Series.
I was going to say, it's, from my recollection, I don't want to leave anything out, but I would say it's top 3 all time that I have seen.
It was an excellent World Series, and I completely agree with you. And maybe we're forgetting something, and if we are, go ahead and comment. Let us know.
I mean, 2016, and that might be biased of us just because we are Indians Guardians fans, but that 2016, I mean, I've seen T-shirt. I may have said this. I know I said this to you. I can't remember if it was on air or off air, but there are people that literally say the best baseball game of all time was played on a Wednesday night in Cleveland. Wednesday night or Tuesday night. I forget which one it was.
But also and if we're forgetting one, like I said, comment, let us know. We're not, encyclopedias. We try to know as much as
You're
we can.
close to one. You are.
But even I forget things too. I do. Anywho, I do know, I think that one even had such a national perspective because you had one team that hadn't won one since 1948 and the other one since 1908. So I think the drama was there before that series. It
was a combined almost 2-century drought combined.
Yeah,
it was insane. And then the way that it culminated, like that Game 7 was sweet because it was just like unbiasedly, it was a great Game 7. Like,
it was.
Like the Cubs went up, the Tribe never gave up. They battled back every time the Cubs took a 2-run lead, 3-run lead. The Tribe were right back. We're gonna we just kept, and then overall, obviously, the longest drought ended up prevailing to their benefit, not ours. But it was,
and that's why I say, like, if I'm a Blue Jays fan, I'm never forgetting that one because, like, I still don't ever forget and still have hard feelings towards 9 years ago.
Oh, of course, man.
And I think if you're a Toronto fan, that's one you're all, just because beating who you would have beat, the evil empire. Like, we were growing up, the Yankees were the evil empire. That's gone. They're not who everybody wants to be or desire. Like, that's the Dodgers nowadays.
100%. Yeah.
And
that's been like a running meme now on social media, the evil empire. And then it's just like Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts.
Well, but speaking of Shohei Ohtani, I think, as you said, Kevin, and I think it's fair, he is the greatest baseball player of our lifetime.
Yeah, I've been saying that for like 3-4 years now.
Yeah. I also want to give Yoshinobu Yamamoto a ton of credit.
For all the names that you mispronounce, how'd you pull that out of your ass?
Every now and then I'm good on it. Yeah. I don't. If you asked me to do it 3 times in a row, I don't know if I could. But yeah. I'm not gonna. How about we'll just go with Yamamoto the second time? Because I don't think I could do it again. I worked really hard on that one. All right.
All right. Well, I made sure to point it out because that was impressive, buddy.
Thank you, Yamamoto. Like we talk about a lot of days, and you and I are guilty of this as much as anybody, of calling these athletes, these guys back in the old days worked so much harder 20 years ago. They're lazy, they're this, they're that. Yamamoto went to the anti-2025 athlete, and what he did I thought was so impressive. He starts and pitches game 6 innings, and then comes out and takes the ball to close out the World Series for 2 innings the next day. That was some badass stuff from Yamamoto, and I will tell you.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I was just like, wow. It was just so cool because you see all these athletes just nowadays, like, especially in the NBA, the load management, this and that, and Yamamoto coming out like a true bulldog pitcher from the ninth, taking the ball the very next day and closing the biggest games of his life was incredible stuff. And I just want to give a shout out to the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that he'll ever listen to this.
No, he won't. And even if he did listen to it, he probably wouldn't understand it, honestly. But no, nonetheless, I mean, Yamamoto was fantastic, obviously, throughout the world, like in the World Series, obviously closed it out for him. I mean, what a signing by them. Obviously, it came to fruition come playoff time. So, nothing but respect for him. The problem that I have with the Dodgers, right, is that they're such an easy team to root against, but I like just about every player on that team. Like, I love Shohei, love Mookie, love Freeman, love Will Smith.
How can you not like Will Smith? I mean, the guy's clutch, Captain Clutch.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah,
people will talk about
Kiki Hernandez. Love him too. Yeah, like he's phenomenal.
The ultimate utility man.
Ultimate utility man, and every single postseason is coming up clutch.
Yeah. The one thing that was weird about this postseason for the Dodgers was they are so talented. Mookie Betts hardly lifted a finger, and they still won the World Series.
Yeah, I know.
And the guy didn't do anything. It's unbelievable. So that's that. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say.
Neither do I too much. I mean, it was just nice to have a really fun. I mean, what an October baseball.
It was honestly, great October baseball. I know we bowed out early, our guys, but at the same time, mutually viewing my favorite sport to watch the rest of the way, it was a pleasure, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the MLB did a great job this postseason. I can't wait for ABS next year.
Oh, me neither.
Because I think the Blue Jays got screwed on a call due to ABS.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was.
They threw it back down to first, and then he got tagged out in between the bases.
Now, have you seen the end of the game? Now, here's the big question: was that the right call? Was Will Smith's foot on the plate?
That one, I thought whatever was called on the field should have stood.
And it did. And I have to say, I've looked at it a million times over. I wanted Toronto to win, but I can honestly say I thought it was the right call.
Yeah, I thought either, because I tried to look at it too as if like they called the runner safe.
Yeah.
And tried to look at it from that perspective. You could overturn it, and I did not. I tried to look at it from numerous angles too. I thought whatever was called should have stayed. And so I do think that the MLB got it right.
All right, let's unfortunately we're running out of time here, and we don't want to pay Derek any overtime behind the glass tonight, so we're going to have to skip the Cavs tonight, and that's okay. We went Cavs heavy 2 weeks ago, Cavs heavy last week.
Yeah.
Did our preview show, so I will say I'm excited.
Let's just shout out real quick. Darius Garland hopefully should be back by Wednesday.
Yeah.
At the earliest, they said he might be the game after, but Darius Garland will be back, which would be nice. Give another element to the offense, and hopefully we start seeing the Cavs of last year start coming around.
Absolutely. Here. And one other thing I wanted to say, just on a personal note, I'm going tomorrow night, and I can't.
Wednesday night, yeah.
That's right. Thanks for the housekeeping for our listening audience. I can't wait to see those navy blue uniforms on the court. Man, I'm very excited about that.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited to watch the game too, man, honestly. Right. I'm very excited to see how the navy blues look on the court, and I'm hoping at some point, I know there's been a lot of people that have been advocating for this on social media throughout damn near since 2010, 2011, but I'd really want that era of Cavs basketball uniforms back. Like, it was just such a unique, specific, and also a fantastic look that was unique to the Cavs, and it looked great too. So I hope at some point they can bring those back full time. I don't know, ins and outs of how they'd be able to make that work, who has rights to what and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
hopefully at some point they can bring those back full time, because that's my favorite era of Cavs basketball. That's what we grew up watching.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about the college football. Now, those rankings do come out, and do we have them yet? We should.
I know that
we should.
as we're recording, the rankings were coming out live. So we should be able to get a quick synopsis of the rankings in general, be able to hit on hopefully the top 5, top 10, whether we agree, whether we disagree. Let me see if I can get that pulled up, Jerome. 1 second, buddy. All right. I just looked up college football rankings.
Let's see. I got the.
And no, it gets revealed. Actually, it's getting revealed in the next 5-10 minutes.
All right,
It's
so we
revealed
won't have them for you.
It's almost 8 o'clock now as we record Tuesday night.
So I got a question for you.
And
Let's
they
talk
come out
about
at
the
8
college
o'clock,
football.
of course.
I know you watched the game on Saturday. I actually did not get to watch the whole thing because I was working and I was under the weather. But again, I've watched the highlights and I've done my due diligence. You got to watch the whole thing. Ohio State, another dominating effort. Now, this one we can't say is that amazing because Penn State stinks, but at the same time, they dominate again. Am I being biased by thinking that no one's even close in their department? Maybe Indiana, but they look clear and had the best team again. And they might do their own little Dodgers, huh?
Oh, go back to back is what you're saying? I don't know. I don't know why that took me a second to register.
You were a little lost on that one. It's okay.
Sometimes that happens with me. I mean, I don't really see anybody. Come playoff time, though, it is different, right? Like when we went into the playoffs last year, you basically said you didn't think the Buckeyes had a shot based off of how they played, and then they ended up running the table.
Right.
So if you get hot at the right time, anything can happen, obviously. But right now, I would say that you're correct. Like right now, I think if Ohio State faced anybody tomorrow, they're going to win that game. That's just how I feel about it right now. Obviously, things can change here in the next month and a half, 2 months or so. But I don't see anybody in Ohio State's way right now. I think Indiana, I know we had mentioned earlier, them probably going to be being ranked number 2 if we were to guess. I mean, at worst, probably number 3.
Right.
I think if they were to face Ohio State wins by 2+ touchdowns. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And I agree with you on all that. Indiana would be the closest team to Ohio State right now. Now, I think you can't count out some of those SEC teams because there's some good 3-loss teams. Like Tennessee is a damn good team. They now have 3 losses after losing to Oklahoma last week.
Yeah, they're out.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put a 3-loss team in there because you have 12 teams. Now, you have your undefeated BYU who you have to put in because, I mean, it's only fair to them. If you
100%.
If you truly say you're giving everybody a chance. And then you look at some of these teams, like, again, Tennessee with 3 losses. Look at your guys.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about them, actually. Like, how do you feel from an Ohio State fan standpoint looking at the Notre Dame Fighting Irish? Like, do they threaten you at all? Do you respect them? What do you or don't you?
Well, I right now, like I said, I think nobody beats Ohio State
Correct.
right this minute. But I have to respect Notre Dame in the sense that their 2 losses are the best losses anybody's probably had in the country. Maybe Tennessee, you could argue.
They were. Like, A&M is still a good loss. Like, the Miami one looks worse. And I will say, I'm just going to go off the AP poll because we don't have, obviously, the college football playoff rankings yet. Miami being, 8 to 9 spots lower than Notre Dame makes no sense to me. I realize that their game happened in week 1 and that it took place in Miami and that Miami only won by 3 points. But when are we going to start valuing head-to-head matchups in college football? Like, Miami should be unbiasedly ranked ahead of Notre Dame.
Well,
they have the same record. Miami beat them.
Because I think the way that the AP poll looks at it, and I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, they look at it in the sense of
Notre Dame's other loss was to A&M.
And Miami's loss was to Louisville. I mean, Jesus Lord.
No, I understand. I was talking with a coworker about that, and that's the point that he made as well. And I don't know. I mean, I get it from the standpoint that, Notre Dame's other loss is, I guess, better than losing to Louisville, obviously. But, Miami still beat Notre Dame. So, didn't they prove on the field that they're a better football team?
Yeah, you would think, I guess. I don't know. But I think it depends on where it happens in the year, too. That was the opener, I believe.
It was week 1.
Yeah, so Notre Dame, I will say, they have a tough game. And nobody would have thought this at the beginning of the year against Pitt. coming up still. Like,
Well, Pitt always plays pretty tough.
No, yeah, I think they're a little bit better this year. Like, also, am I being biased? You could call me out on it if I am. Julian Saint's got to be your Heisman right now, right? I mean, the way the kid's playing is.
I mean, yeah, Julian Saint looks fantastic.
Honest to God, maybe I'd be more.
Mendoza's got to be up there too, is he not?
I would think so.
I actually haven't looked at the Heisman. I know Jeremiah Love. I don't know if that's just Notre Dame specific, but he's been getting a lot of love around
college football.
Yeah, like around college football and a lot of the people that I follow as well, which obviously I follow a lot of Notre Dame heavy football talk when it comes to college football. So that might just be a Notre Dame thing.
I maybe I would get more on board with this whole draft pick and the whole thing that I argued against. If Julian Saint was eligible to come out for the draft this year, there's the Browns quarterback solution.
Oh, Christ.
There it is. He's right there. But, we'll kick that can down the road because he's not eligible till 2026.
I don't know about you ever being low on an Ohio State quarterback, by the way. Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, all of these first rounders. Only one of them's really honestly panned out, and even Stroud at this point is like a 50-50 right now.
Yeah, Stroud. Well, I don't want to criticize Justin Fields because who knows? If we start criticizing him, he might light the Browns up on Sunday.
Yeah, he probably will.
So, all right. Well, obviously, we'll get into a little more college football as we get into the nitty-gritty here. Now, we should have spent more time on it today, unfortunately. But
we talked about just the NFL as a whole longer than I thought we were going to. But it was a good talk for sure.
You had the trade deadline going on today, so a lot of stuff going on there. And we obviously had to finish up and put a bow on the 2025 Major League Baseball season.
Right.
We'll get into more of the college football next week. We'll see what happens with that. As a lot of these, now you start having the actual committee's opinion of things and not just the Associated Press's cast of voters. So we'll get into that. Let's put a bow on this episode 53 here of Cleveland Sports Realm. College hoops started last night. I know I'm a big college hoops fan. Obviously, these first couple games, like, you can't get too excited. I mean, I know that tonight Duke plays Texas in the Dick Vitale Classic. So you have like a couple good games, but like most of them are garbage games. Like Ohio State put up in college basketball in 40 minutes 118 points against IUPUI yesterday. Jesus. So that's, obviously we're not going to talk about that too much yet because it's just, you don't have a lot going on. Now, obviously, then you have like Thanksgiving week. The matchups get a little bit better with the Maui Invitational and a couple of those other tournaments and stuff like that. But I just want to put it out there that college hoops season is underway for those of you folks who are big fans like myself. And then we got to complain about something.
Yeah.
And this is sports related.
Yep.
Can we stop having billionaires and billionaire corporations bicker and screw the average man? Thank God the Ohio State Buckeyes are on CBS, NBC, or Fox now because I would not be able to watch the Buckeyes because you and I have YouTube TV.
Yeah. We're clearly looking at alternative options.
We are. So everybody else in the whole media has been doing it, so we're going to join in. Screw YouTube TV and Google and screw Disney and ESPN.
That's right.
Enough of this. You got billionaires bickering over all this money, and all these people couldn't watch college football on Saturday, couldn't watch the Monday night game last night. Ridiculous. Figure it out. You guys are fighting over all this money, and YouTube TV owned by Google, massive corporation. ESPN and ABC owned by Disney, massive corporation. And all you billionaires are going to sit there and squabble over all this, and you're screwing up not just Kevin and myself, but millions and millions of
primarily us,
working man Joe across America. And I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents on this because it's absolute, utter horseshit.
Yeah, I agree, man. I 100% agree. I think you hit the nail on the head on just about everything you said. It's one of those things. We sign up for the subscription to get what we want, and then when we don't get it, like what? I think it was Ben Axelrod. I don't want to misspeak who it was. I saw somebody tweet out basically, like, could you imagine like buying tickets to a Browns game, going to the Browns game, and them telling you like, no, it doesn't work. You're going to have to go through StubHub or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what this is.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
and here's the other thing that's really pissing me off. ESPN putting all their pawns out there, or sorry, I mean, I should say Disney. Adam Schefter, who makes
I did
millions of
see
dollars a year, saying, "Go tell YouTube TV in a nutshell to F off Kirk Herbstreit. Go tell YouTube TV to F off. Keep my networks.com." We don't want to hear from your pawns who you pay millions of dollars a year to telling us either. We just want to watch our damn football on Saturdays and Monday nights
And
figure
Sundays.
it the F out.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
agree.
what I got to say about that. The whole thing's pissing me off. And quite frankly, this is not the first time that YouTube TV, I don't know what
Has
Google's
pissed you
deal
off.
is. Yeah, I remember when I first got the service, not to go into a full-blown rant, it was an excellent service. And it's really just gone down the tubes. They keep getting rid of more channels and raising the price. Enough of that. And I'm also going to sound like a total boomer, and people are going to laugh at me for this. The hell with all these streaming services. I wish we just all go back to the good old-fashioned cable box. Honest
I agree.
to God.
I agree.
Honest to God.
I don't even think that's a hot take anymore. I saw a lot of people doing that. I've seen millionaires like J.J. Watt was like, I'm not buying another streaming service.
Yeah.
The dude, if anybody can afford it, it's J.J. Watt.
The guy made over $150 million. And
he's like, I'm not doing it.
And
I don't even blame him.
I can tell you.
Well, that's because, you know why? Because he values the principle more than the frickin' $8 a month it's going to take to actually watch the game.
And I can tell you, all three of us in this room, the ones in front of the camera and behind, we don't collectively make what J.J. Watt made. And we have all these streaming services, and we're sick of it.
True, yeah.
We're sick of it. So you know what? Maybe I'm going to sound like a boomer. Give me my old-fashioned cable box, with my big-ass remote that was real long.
Oh, dude, I used to have one of those too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that you wouldn't lose it. It was like
it was
great.
now these
2
TV
foot
remotes,
by.
you'll lose them. Oh, we can go into it all
it's
night.
constant.
But so that's
We lost them so much. We have our remote on our phone now.
Yeah, we can't even keep track of the damn remote back at the house. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah.
So does Kevin. So does Derek. You can follow along with the podcast at CLE Sports Room. That's on TikTok. That's also on Twitter and Instagram. And then again, you could get this podcast via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Take it easy, everybody. Have a great week. We'll talk to you again next week. And go Browns. Try to go out there and win a game.
Yeah, go Cavs.